I'm Margaret Ann Windsor. My real name, the name I have to use, is Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married Childers. I was kidnapped in 41 and brought to Middleton, Alabama, and given the name of a twin that was murdered. The twin, Carl and Peggy, were both murdered, and they were born out of wedlock. There's connections there to that family. They were poor, they were horrible, they were abusive, and things you wouldn't believe. This is where I was put. But there were later, recently, I had given me a genealogy sheet of that family, and the Freemasons, who are the Illuminati that kidnapped me and brought me over here, um, were invested, so to speak, in that family, in the lineage and everything there. Well, I guess they were into everything, right? My father, Edward VIII, never married Wallace Warfield Simpson. She married a double, an impostor, and became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. That was a takedown, a plot, and they did it to remove my father, Edward VIII, who was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor. By the way, the O'Keefes, she's sister to artist George O'Keefe, my aunt, were born, my mom and the O'Keefes were born in Madison, Wisconsin, or Sun Prairie is a suburb. And what I have just put the video up is about Middleton, is a suburb also of Madison. Dane County, which has something to do in the patterns I've spoken of mind control murders. And that is in the shootings today have taken place. It was just, well, I mean, that's enough, more than enough, but it wasn't a mass shooting like some of them. But they're taking it after Cape Middleton. That's exactly it. And my mom was born in Madison, who's the real monarch I am. My father had papers drawn up. He never meant to leave his post. They totally lied. He wouldn't follow orders given by the Freemason, Illuminati, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, the Kennedy clan. JFK actually helped end my kidnapping. I just put this up about the murders that just happened. Well, I don't know that they're murdered. There's 5 shot, and one of them is the shooter. But without doubt, I don't need his name, the shooter's name, if it's a man or anything. I know what in secession and what's happening. So Kate Middleton is married to William, who is an illegal heir. The whole family is traitors. They know all this. They know about me. They know my father never married Wallace Simpson. He was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, and they were married and alive in October of 86. Still married and quite elderly at the time. They took his name, and yes, Elizabeth has always known. The whole family from way out has. Some in the past have tried to help me and help the Brits, and the Brits have tried to help me, and the Germans. Some people here. Most people here don't want to hear it unless they find out that it's their child, like Timothy McVeigh. He said that the Army put a chip up his buttocks. They usually put it in a root canal. I'm looking over here. I don't know what that is. But anyway, I wanted to I put this up. I don't know the names of those that just happened. The Middleton, as in Kate Middleton. That's married to Harry. That's exactly what they're doing. Now I wanted to get to this. It just came up here too. That oh gee, I'm going to forget her name now. Elizabeth, I don't mean, I'm not laughing at this. It's a horror story to me too, believe me, because people don't appreciate it unless it's laid out in front of everybody, and your Illuminati controlled press is held accountable for not telling the truth, and they've known it since World War One. Okay, so I'm going to get to it here. Just now, after the shootings that I'm telling about, Middleton, Wisconsin, they came up with, now I'm going to forget her name again. Oh, for goodness sakes, I just said it. Well, you know. Anyway, she was kidnapped in 2002, Elizabeth Smart. And the husband and wife that kidnapped her, they held her for 9 months, and I said this all along. I knew immediately after when she went missing that it was a mind control used in it, and it was. Now then, they have put the press have let her speak. She's had books, and she had parents that really cared, and she had money and everything. And she was able to. I'm not dismissing. I'm the woman that's tried to tell you all this while I lived in hell. And there's a lot of people who just wish I would die, evaporate, and I can't. I don't know where my sons are, who heirs after me, Mark and Scott. Now I'm going to finish this. Chris Watts just he's going to go on trial, stand for the murder of his wife and unborn child, just similar to, I don't think he's charged with the unborn child, but the two young daughters. They were killed recently, and he was charged with it. And now then, here's one good thing that's happened in this. They don't say anything about me in all this. Your press, nothing. A group of Chris Watts friends that went to school with him, that knew him well, they have actually come on now and said Chris Watts was never like this. He was a nice person. This is out of behavior for him. I'm glad they came forth and said this and got together. It makes more impact. This is what I've been telling you. It's behavior modification, and it's not that simple. They modify your behavior. They teach you the Morse code at a low frequency you're not aware that you're getting. And, it's so mass now. But my point, too, is if you knew you had a chip in you, your root canal is a good place. This involves your dentist. So a lot of people say, oh, this can't be happening. Well, it is. And it's not just me. I just happen to be the one that's putting together, for whatever reasons. I mean, I could go into that, and it hasn't been fun. Part of it is because I cared. And then I won't go any further because there are a handful of people who do care. But that's my point. Chris Watts would be put on death row probably for the murders. And this is just like, I'll use a good example here. Scott Peterson's on death row for killing Lacey and the unborn child Connor. And and Amber. And I want you to listen to Amber, some of the names. It would be nice if one of these were put up and it was in order so people couldn't deny it anymore. As in the Amber Alert, where the children have been kidnapped, and that gets into programming too. So this has been mass over years and years and years. And people like to act as ostriches and put their heads in the sand and forget all this is happening, and like, if they could just get rid of me, all this would go away. Well, it won't. And what you have to tell about is mind control and its use of murder. I mean, you can create cancer, you can cure it. Way back at the Tesla files. So that's all I'm going to put up now. I'm wondering what this young man that did the shooting today, I'm assuming it's a man. They haven't told. They've just said it's Middleton, and of course that's a suburb part of Madison, Wisconsin, where my mother was born. And I'm going to put this up. And anyway,